What if flow isn't something you enter? What if it's something you've been blocking? Flow.
Love that. Love that. It really is the foundation of this work, presence and flow. As business owners, which we are, there's a part of us, part of our psychology that's looking for what's the bit that's going to give me the advantage? What's the bit that's going to give me more performance, better performance? And it's so seductive because the egoic mind wants to be better. The egoic mind sees the world through competition. And hopefully we can show people that instead of it being something that helps your performance from the success old paradigm of business, it can be something you can live from the new paradigm. Presence is simultaneous attuned awareness. And so the practices I teach, which again have come from traditional cultures, are how to integrate the focus and the expansion. If you understand this, what you realize is that when the West started to look at flow states, what they did is they picked up evidence. And who was the foundational teacher of flow, Rich? You're better at these.
Yeah, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, which is always gets a bit of getting your teeth around, but yeah, Csikszentmihalyi.
So the West looked at it through psychology and environment. And his work is incredible. And please don't hear that we're judging or discounting any of this powerful work, because what he noticed was that people were getting into flow states and he deconstructed what was going on. What was the psychology? What was the environment? What was the activity? And the research is powerful for any of the listeners. And then what happened is the evolution of that turned into performance, particularly high performance. And who was it, Rich? Was it Kotler?
I think it's Kotler.
What he did is look at it then through the neuroscience. All of the listeners would have heard there's many books about flow states. Athletes were often used as examples. Michael Jordan, Kelly Slater, they just talk about being in flow. I'm not thinking. I'm absolutely present. I'm relying on my intuition. Time slows down. My spatial awareness grows. That's available all the time. So instead of looking at how do I cultivate flow, which an achiever in the success mountain will do, how can I perform better? What we're talking about is how can I live in? And again, you've got to shift your context, because finding flow states, the limitation is I can go and have a beautiful surf, get really present, get into flow. And then I come and start building my business and I get stressed, I get anxious, I get controlling. Because what I've done is I haven't shifted the context of flow. I still think flow is something I cultivate instead of something I live. And the easiest way to shift the context is to realize a simple definition of flow is letting go of any resistance to life. Flow is our natural state. Again, you've got two beautiful little boys. We've spoken about passion, how passionate they are. And again, you've just had a weekend with them. Were they in flow? Were they just present? Were they playing? Were they passionate? It doesn't mean they don't cry, don't fall over, don't get frustrated. But even your little fella, he'll feel all his emotions in 30 seconds. He doesn't resist. He doesn't resist them.
Yeah.
He's not been conditioned to go, this is good, that's bad.
Yeah.
And of course, as we've touched on in this work, particularly for little boys, we've been told that that natural state of acceptance, of flow, of passion isn't okay. And what's built on that, particularly through the lens of the busy thinking mind, is we've got to perform. How can I create high performance? The studies on flow around how can you perform better, all of that comes from fear and separation and disconnection. It's not coming from the new paradigm of business.
Yeah.
If you think of what drives business, the old paradigm of business is driven by push energy, force energy, the fuel that drives it, action. I've got to make something happen. And all of that comes from the illusion of separateness. All of that comes from fear and scarcity and lack.
Yeah.
The new paradigm comes from flow. It comes from ease. It comes from expression and creativity. And it's more than just your state of being. It's literally the context from which you live.
But what do we really mean by this resistance? How do I know I'm resisting life?
Beautiful. If you look at the way we experience life, so the three key ways we experience life, apart from our five senses, is through our head, through our heart, and through our Hara, or
Mm.
our Dantian, or our gut. You could say it through our thinking, through our feelings and emotions, or through our intuition. They're the three energy centers by which we give meaning to the world. And they're also the energy centers by which we resist the world. So again, if we start with our thinking mind is a fantastic servant. It's a terrible master. So the way we resist life is when our thinking mind starts to take over. It wants to control. It gets anxious. It's future thinking, past thinking. Why is this happening to me? It goes into the victim. The world's in an awful state. There's problems hiring people. All of that is resisting this life force.
Mm.
What we're doing is we're contracting. If you think of life, your energy being a hose pipe, every time you go into that limited thinking, you're putting a kink in the hose pipe. Where your attention goes, energy flows. I know so many clients that wake up and their first thoughts are on their cash flow problems.
Mm.
What do you think they're going to experience if their attention is on their cash flow
You're
problem?
going to see a lot more cash flow issues, aren't you?
Exactly. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
recycling the day before and
Yeah.
recycling their problems. Those 60,000 thoughts are just latching on to anything that's not working. That's resistance from the thinking mind. And then from there, we go into control. We go into manipulation. We go into all of the dysfunction. If you think about the old paradigm of business, remember there's the persecutor, there's the victim, and there's the rescuer. All of that is resisting life. All of that has been driven by fear. The world's happening to me. Someone did it to me. Someone cut me off the traffic. I've got to persecute them. I've got to be the bully. Or I'll go and play the victim. Or I'll be a people pleaser. All of that is resisting our natural state. And there are many other examples of the way we resist at a thinking level. Our thinking mind and our subconscious beliefs.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Resistance is just arguing with life. It's
Love
like,
that.
good luck with that.
I love that.
It's like you say, it's like, okay, well, you experience something, you get to give it a meaning.
Mm.
And you can go into the argument, or as you say, you can go, okay, breathe. It's not necessarily something that's going to get you closer to your intention, yet you don't have to resist it, argue with it, fight it. I love that meaning making because, again, that beautiful saying, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change, the Wayne Dyer saying. It's a fundamental piece. And remember, in each moment, we have choice. Please, for the listeners, please get this. Responsibility is the ability to respond. It doesn't always feel like that. Sometimes we want to have a pity party and play the victim. We want to blame the government. We want to blame the war. We want to blame the traffic. Yet it's such a foundational piece, Rich, is that one, we get to give meaning to the world. Two, we always have choice. And three, and the second way we resist is we get to choose how we feel, our emotions. And again, if we think of the head, the heart, the Hara, emotions is a big area where we resist life. Remember, you get to choose your emotions.
Feels so, it's so liberating, I find. That, I'm at the center of this. Of course, I'm not controlling everything, by no means. But what I can control is my response to the words that come, the behavior that therefore comes, the thoughts that come. And in there, we're not in some, as I said, the performance descriptors of flow, but life is flowing in a completely different way. And I can just feel, even just talking about it now, I feel a bit of morning tension I might have just coming off my shoulders with that reassurance.
The final piece I want to add is, so we resist at an emotional level, and we also resist at an energetic level through our Hara, through our action. And so, because most of us have been taught that, the groups of emotions are mad, sad, glad, and scared. And most of us think life is about being happy. And I just want to judge the the mad and scared and sad emotions as bad, and I don't want to feel them.
Mm.
That's resistance. Good luck with that, guys. Emotions are the most powerful communication tool you have. Whoever's up there in the sky, Rich, didn't just give us emotions to mess with us. They're giving you information. And so just want to anchor in that when you resist the emotion, what you resist persists. And when you resist the emotion, it persists and you're resisting life. Yeah. It's such a big one, particularly for men. Yeah. Getting into your heart, really being willing to lean in and feel your feelings. Remember, emotion is energy in motion, 90 seconds to feel a feeling. And the final piece before I dive into your question is, in traditional cultures, we knew that the solar plexus was where we create action in the world. And what happens for a lot of men in particular when they're coming from fear, when they're coming from the old paradigm, when they're coming from hustle and resistance, they think their action has to be to dominate. Their action has to be better. It's about competition. It's about the alpha. It's about winning. All of that is a way of resisting the natural life force. If you look at nature, and there's many great people who teach around leadership through nature.
Mm.
Nature is the perfect example of flow. There's ebb and flow. There's life and death. There's a symbiotic relationship between the beetle and the dung. It's like it's all working together. Yeah. And that's the difference. So many men I work with are exhausted. They're living in their heads and they're waking up each day going, I've got to push harder. I've got to work harder. Look at the economy, look at the competition. Yep, all of that is the illusion that you can't create from flow, that you have to create from hustle. And it is quite seductive because the peer group, that's what everybody does. You think of the fear of letting go, as you say, accepting reality and creating a different way. The ego mind doesn't want to.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to let go, So again, if we think about the head, the heart, and the Hara, traditional cultures knew that if you align these three energy centers, these three aspects, your thinking, your feeling, and your intuition, if you can align those, ground those, and these practices that we teach, maintain those, you can live in flow. And the primary function of the head, our thinking mind, is to provide clarity. So if you're a leader, if you're a visionary, if you're a business owner, how clear are you on your vision? How clear are you on your contribution in the world? How clear are you on your purpose? The primary focus of the heart is connection. How connected are you to yourself? How connected are you to your children, to your beloved, to your mission, to your business? You can live in flow with your children, as you just did on the weekend most of the time. Yeah, you can live in flow with your beloved. Whenever we get triggered and defensive, we're just resisting.
Yeah.
And then the Hara is all about commitment. Yeah, so we've got clarity, connection, and commitment. How committed are you in your action? How deliberate, how authentic, how aligned? Because if you align all three, the head, the heart, the Hara, and if you do some of the simple daily practices, and again, we'll put a couple in the show notes. Yeah, 3 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. Then during the day, you can do some check-ins. Yeah. What you're doing is you're cultivating alignment through presence. And remember, flow is presence in action. And when I'm aligned and when I'm present, all I'm doing, Rich, each day with an open heart is noticing where I meet resistance.